Why are those special to you, those notes in there? I understand you keep them locked in a safe.
Yeah.
Why?
It's because it's, I guess, where I started the empire. That's, it's my humble beginnings. And I still look back at those. Like, to date, we're a $10 million business and growing year by year. I still don't have a structured business plan. Maybe when I want to sell the business, yes, I will put a business strategy in place for the next investor if they want to come on board. But at the moment, I'm driving the ship with my brother, and we're just doing what we need to do, and we know where we want to go, buy and sell.
Let's talk about business plans. I mean,
Yep.
Everybody else will tell us you need a business plan.
Yep.
You need it to pitch ideas to people.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you saw from a book. It's a great business plan, but look, end of the day, if the business plan is mapped out in your head, and you know where you need to go, just write a few points, a few key tasks that you need to do from a business aspect, and let's go for it. If you're going out getting funds or you need sort of private investments, well, without a doubt, you're going to need a full business plan and show your investors why and how you're going to spend that money. But if you're going to start yourself, don't get bogged down with a 50-page business plan, because a lot of the times you do it, you spend months doing it, and then you don't apply it. So there's no point in doing it if you don't apply it. I prefer
Power to act.
Apply it, do it, and then adjust your plan as you go.
How important is networking, and what are some of your networks that you get involved with?
Yep.
And how important is it for business owners to network?
I think it's very important. I love socialising. I love getting out there. I love meeting people, talking to people, and I'm in the marketing world. So I'm in the marketing game. So getting out there, meeting people, I make money. Funny enough, and one of my friends said to me, "How the hell do we always go out, and you always seem to make money when we go home, and yet here I am." He's an actor, and he goes, "I can't seem to make things happen." I go, "Well." I just ask the question, and if they're in marketing, well, here's my card. I can help you out and following through after you meet someone. But yeah, I think it's definitely very important.
What are some tips you can give to business owners who need to network or are networking?
Very hard. Just get out there and talk to people. Break in that comfort zone. It's always hard meeting someone and introducing yourself from the start and saying, "Hi, this is who I am. It's my name," and I think. Networking to a degree, it is a bit tricky because people will always say, "Hi, what's your name? What do you do?"
Yeah,
that's normally the second question. So to break out of that regular sort of second question, just sort of talk socially.
I like your shirt today, Dorry.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, there you go. I like yours as well. But it's just about being comfortable and just sort of just talking about general stuff and building that comfort zone that you can start asking more intimate questions.
How much thinking went into DKM before you rolled it out?
6 months.
Really? 6 months? Oh, I know because I've read your book, but others watching it aren't.
Yeah,
so
look.
6 months went into this.
In all honesty, when I left my family business or left my cousins, and it was meant to be a 10-week journey, and I was not going to come back until I worked out how I was actually going to start this business. And it honestly took me 6 months. I changed my flight probably around 6 times before I returned back. And I had calls from my mum saying, "Are you ever going to come back?" I go, "I will come back." But 6 months. But in all honesty, the day that I worked it out in my head, the very next day I jumped on a plane and flew back.
What, the very
next day?
What was the pinnacle moment that you knew now's the time?
Having that belief within myself. Because for me, when I look at business, I always look at the negatives. I look at all the hurdles that can happen in the business, all the problems. I knew nothing about accounts. I failed my HSC. My accounting, I got 25%, legal studies 16%. I'm like, shit, am I kidding myself here? Am I really going to make this work? What do I know about business? So I started putting a lot of doubt in my head because ego can talk. Yeah, I can do it, I can make it happen, because everyone's got a sense of ego to a point. But now I've got to really do it. Jeez, I've talked myself up. Now I've got to back it and make it happen. So it took me 6 months of a lot of doubt, a lot of negative thoughts, and when I got to that point that I subconsciously knew how to overcome those hurdles, that's when I knew I was on the right track.
Is the seed of doubt the same as the seed of success?
Without a doubt, yeah. You got to think of all the doubts and all the negatives before you succeed. I think a lot of people when they start business, they think of all the positives. Yeah, I'm going to make a lot of money. Look at everything with as a blue sky. It's great, but a lot of great clouds out there in business. So you've got to look at the grey clouds first before you see the sun and the blue skies and the blue waters.
Like know your worst case scenario?
Yeah, definitely. That's something a lot of people talk to me and say, what were the pitfalls in business? What were the tough times? And knock on wood, I haven't had a tough time in business so far. I probably will.
What do you mean you haven't had a tough time?
Well,
there must have been some tough times.
Well, I haven't had bank overdrafts for the business. We've grown organically. It's made a lot of money. I've always managed tight overheads. I've kept a very simple structure in the business. So, you know, when the GFC hit, it didn't really affect our business. We were very heavily cash positive that we could ride any wave out there. And I guess a lot of the lessons people learned in the GFC was to buckle up the way they spend, the way they manage their business. So I think it gave people a lot of excuses to restructure their business. Where for us, we were already running a tight ship. So we took advantage of the GFC and we grew by like 5% in the downtime. People saying, well, how do you do that? Well, run a good business in the good times. In the bad times, you'll always stay ahead. So yeah, so that's the way I look at things.
How hard was it to break away from the family business? I mean, that must be hard for anyone going to the family business saying, I'm going out on my own, and actually becoming a competitor.
Oh, look, it was very hard. You know, it's competing against your cousins who are way older than you, and my older brother, and saying, you know what, you guys don't know what you're on about. I'm going to show you how to run a business.
You actually told them?
I did tell it to my brother. I said, you know what? He goes, it's not easy running a business. What do you know about running a business? You've never done it before. And I clearly remember just saying this to him, mate, you and my cousins are going to show you how to run a business. And that was really my fuel to prove.
And now you're together, joint CEOs.
Yeah, we are together
making
now.
It happen.
So I guess having that time apart, after I left and I started my company, within 6 months he goes, shit, well, if he can do it, well then I can do it. So he ended up leaving the family business as well, my 2 cousins, and started his own company called DK Blue. And I was DKM, so hence why we got DK Blue. But yeah, I think time apart, the respect was there. We were fighting like cats and dogs at the start when we were working in the business, because I believe I knew more than him, and he's older than me.
Was that just the brother love banter that you generally would have?
Yeah, like, you know, we're both very competitive, we're both very hungry, but I think now we're at a level, you know, where we're a lot more mature, a lot older, that we sort of, you know, we can respect each other. What
was your differentiation point with DK and Blue? Like, how are you different to other merchandising companies?
Well, with the amalgamation, with the merge, it's given us a way more products and divisions to sell to our clients. So, you know, we can, you know, we've got a corporate uniforms division, we've got an online division, we've got direct importing out of China. So we've got so many different facets of the business that, you know, if you're a promotional company, you just deal with promo uniforms. If you're a corporate uniforms company, you just deal with corporate uniforms. So for us, we had more tools to sell now, and more products. So a lot of my clients that didn't have the corporate uniforms on the online stuff, we're able now to start selling those extra services to them. So it's put us in a very unique position that we can pitch at any tender and land some pretty big contracts and just go out there and just sort of
you become part of the marketing team?
Definitely. And for me, starting DK back 9 years ago now, I looked at myself as a division of a marketing company, which is why I called it Dorry Kordahi Management originally, because I wanted to be regarded as a management company where I can manage your merchandise, your requirements, your ideas. And I like the word management because it was a diverse word.
And what were other merchandising companies doing at that time?
None. That's when I spent time away. I go, well, why would you buy from me if I'm working from my backyard? So I looked at the industry. I knew what the industry was lacking because it was really being perceived as a bag on your shoulder, catalogues and samples, and you're out there doing
pump it out. Cups from China and key rings.
And for me, I didn't sell that. I sold a service. Product to me was secondary. If you want a cap, you can get a cap from 5,000 other competitors. So it's a very competitive market. So my point of difference was sit there and manage my clients' requests and give them solutions.
What does success mean to you, Dorry?
Success means content. You know, if you're content with life and you're happy, that's success. It's not always monetary. It can be, you know, for me, it's about being happy and being comfortable within yourself. That to me.
Now, yeah. But how is it important to be ambitious for more? Like content now? But
look, don't get me wrong. I'm hungry. I'm nowhere near content to where I want to be. But you know, if you're an entrepreneur and you're hungry, you look at your people like your Bransons, your Trumps, you know, your Packers, you know, late Kerry Packer, and you know, those sort of guys. You know, they don't retire. You know, Frank Lowy, they're 70 plus and they're still working. I think entrepreneurism is in your blood, and no matter how much money you earn, it's not about being greedy and wanting more. It's just it's a way that, you know, keeps you driving, ticking.
What does entrepreneurship mean to you?
This means someone that has vision, that that has belief, you know, with their ideas and executes on their ideas, and, you know, gets a return out of it by money. And that's, you know, if you can come up with an idea, you out of nowhere, and you start it and you make money, that's entrepreneurism. And just thinking outside the square and pushing those boundaries, I think are very, very important. Yeah, that's what it means to me.
You read Richard Branson's book, Losing My Virginity. I don't think there's many entrepreneurs that haven't.
Yeah.
What was it that inspired you and you taking from Richard?
For me, Richard Branson's book, that was probably that was the book that made me take that next step.
Wow.
That's pretty much one of the only books I have read, and I do have to read Colin's book.
The
as
only
well.
book. You better read Cole's book. We're having lunch with him today.
But I've got past the first chapter, which is good. So he's quizzing me already. But, you know, I was with my girlfriend at the time. She goes, listen, because I was very ambitious. You know, I want to go out there and make a lot of money. You know, and I can do it. And she said, you know what? I want you to read a book for me. And I said, what's that? And she gave me Richard Branson's book, and I read that book from start to end. And for me, the most exciting thing was when I was reading, I go, you know what? This guy's built $1 billion empire just by writing a business plan.
He was dyslexic. He is similar. He didn't achieve at school. Yeah.
You know, and he built his business on his belief and what he thought he knew. And his business plan was on a piece of scribble. He just went out there and did it. I'm like, you know what? If this guy can do it, then, you know, I'm not going to become a billionaire. Hopefully one day I might.
Maybe you will.
But if he can, then I can do it. And for me, that's what gave me that extra spur to go out there and really have a crack at it. And that's why with Power to Act now, I want to inspire hopefully the next younger generation that will maybe the billionaire gap is very big, but you can become a millionaire. And if you follow those traits, you know, you can do it as well.
What does wealth mean to you?
Wealth, okay, well, a lot of things. Wealth, you know, if you look at it from a monetary value, wealth means, you know, being in a position that you can enjoy what you've achieved, and, you know, go out there and if you want to buy a nice car, you can. Wealth, you know, can mean, you know, for other people can mean having a loving family. You know, I don't have kids now because for me, not yet, but I will.
Still a
soon.
bachelor.
I will soon. But, you know, if I had kids and a family, then to me we'll be having a loving family with nice kids and bringing them up all that. You know, to me that's wealth as well. So people are going to look at wealth in a very different way. It depends on what part of their life they're in.
Thank you for sharing these gems of wisdom. Next time we have to speak with Dorry, we'll talk about how he stayed up all night dreaming about how he's going to start DKM Blue.
Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Welcome to Wealth Dodge. We're back again in Dorry Kordahi's lounge room. It's an absolute pleasure to have him here. Thank you, Dorry.
Pleasure to have you here.
Dorry, your story is phenomenal. You were 12 years old. You were the towel boy for the Sydney Kings.